Oh, yes, welcome to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes. I'm joined once again by Chris McAway and Sean Conley. It's half-time here at Celtic Park, and it's Celtic 2, Raith Rovers 0. Sean, thanks for joining us, mate. I know it's early doors or late, one or the other. It always is. It always is. What did you make of the first half?
Yeah, it looked like we very much got Bayern Munich in mind, obviously, and when we went ahead quite early, we really settled down in the game and kept control of it, cycle possession. So we didn't create too many chances. There's a real long interregnum between Callum McGregor hitting. Dyson made the scores. Callum McGregor hits the bar, and then there's not too many chances created for like half an hour after that. But we're holding possession. We're controlling the game. The main event in that half hour is Bernardo getting injured, which obviously was the thing we were trying to avoid with all these changes. I guess it could have been worse, right, if it was Engels picking up that injury instead. But Maeda has done well. He's two good finishes, and even though we are playing we're not in top gear, we are playing with Wednesday. Look like we're playing with Wednesday in mind, but we have played well enough despite that. Just like intensity not quite where you would want it to be for a more meaningful game, but we've got our focus on the job that needs to be done, which is to win this game, get in the hat, and to tick over to Wednesday with a good win. And so far so good. Dyson Maeda's done well, and Callum McGregor's played well as well. And it's been good, successful, other than the injury to Bernardo.
Yeah, that was the one thing, as Sean said, Chris, you wanted to avoid it. And he's a player that, whether or not he would start, he would certainly play his part against Bayern Munich. And it was a bit of a rough challenge. You could just see the way that his leg rolled. It was going to be a dodgy. And let's just hope, it's just one of the ones where it's cautionary, comes off and he's fine. But in terms of the first half performance, I want to look at some of the players who are maybe brought into the team for the first time in a while, or for the first time ever. And you know what was quite interesting? Didn't realise until they were talking about his previous performances. This is Dane Murray's first ever domestic performance and appearance for Celtic. So every time he's played for Celtic, it's been in Champions League qualifiers or in Champions League group games. This is the first time that he's played in a domestic tournament for Celtic. What do you make of his first half performance? He's a cool, laid-back, big performer, isn't he?
He's been pretty solid. He's been pretty steady and pretty solid. I haven't seen, he's a couple of occasions. He's been on the ball. I think he's used it quite well. He's done what I wanted him to do. He's kept it relatively simple, and I don't think I've seen any shaky moments from him that I can remember. I think actually the only shaky moment I saw was from Scales actually getting outpaced by Mullen. I think it was at one point with the ball over the top, where he got the shot on. But I actually think Dane's positioned himself well. Looks a kind of quite big, solid unit. And yeah, tidy, I think is the way I describe his performance at the moment. Very tidy up to this point. So yeah, no issues with him. I hope he continues in the second half. Maybe, if anything, it's the kind of game he could possibly venture forward a little bit more, maybe help link the play and keep the passing going a bit quicker. But that's a minor observation. I don't think he's put a foot wrong, to be honest.
He's good in the air by the looks of him. He does like to carry the ball, Chris. You're right. He does that, and sometimes that transition from defence to attack can be the game changer. I remember how well Chris Ayer. By the way, caveat: I'm not comparing him to Chris Ayer. Remember how well
who is in the stadium tonight? Have you seen the pictures on the socials? He's actually there. Chris Ayer is in the stadium tonight.
No, I did not see them. But yes, I used to love how he would just gallop out of defence. Dane Murray, Sean, for you, that's a good 45 under his belt, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's not been heavily tested, but he has been tidy and he has looked strong. This is kind of the opposite of, like we said we didn't want to judge him on Aston Villa away, which is fair. But we're probably also not going to judge him on a home game to lower league opposition. But it's certainly a good chance for him to get a run out, and he has looked tidy and strong and done everything we would expect him to do. Maybe even I was going to say maybe even more so than Scales, but Raith Rovers have had 1.5 chances, so I don't think you could really say too much about either the defenders or the goalkeeper. The only one that actually you might say that the goalkeeper, the one chance that the shot that Raith Rovers has, he does kind of flap a little bit when it looks like he's making a save for the cameras, but again. Like, there's not really much to judge there, to be honest, in our defensive half of the game.
You know, there's a lot of messages and comments coming through actually about Sinisalo's performance, and I wanted to talk about it because it is his debut. We've moved on from the fact that his granddad was a Finnish actor who looked remarkably like Ray Winston. But yes, it's a kind of modern thing. A lot of goalkeepers, Schmeichel does it when it comes, even a shot. Joe Hart used to do it quite a lot, Chris. It seems to be a modern trait of the goalkeeper where catching the ball will do, but we'll punch it, or we'll, as Sean say, we'll do something for the cameras. I'm not quite sure why, because it doesn't fill you with confidence. But I mean, I'm not digging out Sinisalo. He's not really done anything wrong, and I'm excited to see how he can develop, because I like the way we did that business. We brought in a goalkeeper in Sinisalo, young, having played most of his games on loan, and probably all of them. He might have played one first-team appearance for Aston Villa, and then you bring in that old head of Schmeichel, and you think that, you know what, you can learn from the experience of Kasper Schmeichel. And it's taken this long, right through to February, before we get a glimpse of Sinisalo in a competitive game. So you just kind of hope that he can maintain that in the second half. But I'm a wee bit like Sean. I just rather catches the ball, gives you a wee bit more confidence. It's the same with crosses, isn't it? When a goalkeeper punches or palms it out, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? But it's a modern trait, Chris.
It seems to be, and I don't know if there's an element of trying to, get the ball away out the danger area, because we know how congested the box can be, and if a keeper catches and for some reason fumbles it, then it's generally all the focus is on them for the mistake, or maybe it's just a case of getting the ball out to allow your outfield players to go and play faster and start the counter attack. I just think Sinisalo tonight made the save that he probably didn't have to make, to be fair, on that shot, because he's probably thinking, I might not get many other chances to make a save tonight, so I'm going to take my opportunity to show what I can do. What I have liked about him, on a more serious note, is his distribution out from the back, his passing. He hasn't looked, overawed or fazed by it. It looks pretty comfortable and quite tidy on it. There was one moment I noticed where he played the ball out and immediately got himself back into a position in case possession was lost. He was very, very quick to react, which I quite liked. He almost anticipated, I've made a pass here, I can see the player getting closed down. I can't remember if it was Scales, but immediately he reverted back to getting into a better position in case suddenly the counter attack was on. So I quite liked that element. It looked as though he was trying to read the game quite well. But yeah, we're not. I don't think we're going to see a Hollywood performance from Sinisalo tonight. I just want him again a little bit like Murray. Keep it simple. Do the basics. Don't for the love of God try and dribble it out or do a Fabian Barthez or anything like that. Just keep it simple. Do your job. That's all we want.
You were waiting to use that Hollywood performance, weren't you? Because of his granddad being an actor. Absolutely. The show's
completely accidental, didn't it?
Sure. Quinny says the show's cancelled after Yang's assist. Yeah, everybody's deleting all their comments, or maybe not in relation to Yang's first half performance. He did get the assist though, Sean. And often people say you're always looking for the negative. We're winning 2-0. Listen, we can only talk about the performance we're seeing in front of you. And I think Yang, it really is the legacy of that first transfer window under Brendan Rodgers, where he was sold a bit of a dummy, in the respect that things have changed around here. We do transfer business so much better, and he gave them a bit of freedom. I think with that transition period of him coming in after the departure of Ange Postecoglou, and all these guys come in as well. And very few of them, I think maybe Bernardo, you would say, has been a success from that window. Quite a few of the guys are away. Other ones like Yang, Navrosky, you're thinking, long term, you're not going to be at the club. But he did get his assist. He showed a bit of character to keep trying to run at his man. And I've said this before. Guys like Palmer, Sean, they're going to go away and be a success somewhere, just not at Celtic. And I feel a wee bit like that about Yang as well. I don't think it's a thing whereby we need to be patient. I think we've been patient already with him.
Yeah, Yang's a bit different from Palmer, given that he's younger and a bit more dynamic and athletic. So I guess there's a kind of feeling that he still could raise his game a level, whereas with Palmer, it felt like more he would have to raise his effort and awareness and most of the things going on above the shoulders that Palmer was lacking. But I think the opposite, I guess, is true with Yang, that it's mostly his feet. Like he looks like he could still get more clinical, more, clever with his play and, be more confident and stuff like that. And we're still, I don't know, he's played 800 minutes before today this season. So he's had a fair crack at it, I'd say, in the last 2 months. And it is feeling like it's last chance saloon for him. I might be wrong. He's still young. He might head out on loan to someone like St Mirren or Aberdeen next season, play a whole year of football and come back and absolutely light it up. I don't know. We've seen it before with players like Ryan Christie and such, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've given up on Yang, but obviously with Jota coming in, it has shown that there's that real gulf in class, real gulf in quality between what we want and what Yang has, and that's unfortunate because it still might be there for Yang, but we've just not seen it enough yet. But he's got an assist tonight. He's played the system well. He's cycled it well. He's he's doing his job tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I read somewhere, we got so frustrated at trying to replace Jota that we just replaced him with Jota. We had Tilio, we had Yang, we had Alma. Let's go back to plan A. Paul Rees, you're listening on the YouTube. Can anyone explain to me what position Schlupp was playing on the night? I'm not quite sure. I'm impressed with his performance. He's confident. He's comfortable wherever he gets the ball. He's coming inside, probably even more than Greg Taylor does, playing that inverted role. It looks like when we're attacking, almost like we're playing three at the back. We're reverting to a three at the back, and he's part of that. And I think when he signed, we all said, someone who's played that amount of games at that level of English football is going to slot in, and there's not going to be much of an issue with him. And you can see that tonight. He's just so comfortable on the ball. He's got all the basic attributes you need to play at a higher level than he's playing at tonight. And I've been really impressed with him, I've got to say.
He's, I would agree. There's no fear about the way he plays. He's carrying the ball forward. He's trying to link the play. He's coming inside. He's kind of, quite comfortable to carry the ball forward, which I've liked. He's not always looking for the reverse for the backwards pass rather. I think if anything, I would like to see him probably play a bit wider tonight because I think it's a kind of game where we need to stretch Raith Rovers a little bit. I feel as though we're sort of playing into their game plan to an extent. They're quite congested in the central areas, so we're kind of playing into that central area. And I think Schlupp looks like he's actually got the ability to play play a couple of decent crosses or deliveries from out wide. We actually saw towards the end of the first half good link-up play, and he did put what had the makings of a great ball across. So, but it's very minor criticism if it's even that. I think he looks even more confident than he did on his cameo appearance the other night. I think he looks like a player that's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's got that physicality about him. His use of the ball is quite good. He's not again trying to do too many of the fancy passes. He's just he's looking for the best option. And I think as he gets more familiar with the way we play and the players around him, I think he'll be a real asset. He's already given me kind of Aaron Moy vibes at the moment with the way he's playing. So, yeah, really, really quite tidy. And a couple of good link-ups with Yang, actually, just to come back to Yang. There was a couple of occasions where, you could see that if they get their heads aligned, they can actually link up quite well. So hopefully see more of that in the second half.
That would be good. I mean, again, Sean, when you're looking at a player, Chris has mentioned Moy, when you're looking at a player who's maybe the wrong side of 30, but he's got that experience, there's no issues with his fitness or injury problems. There's so many of that type of player who can come to Scottish football and do well. If they are from the neck up, tuned in, and Schlupp certainly is. I think Kevin Graham said that the other night that it was all about learning his teammates' names. Well, tonight he looks a lot more comfortable, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Aaron Moy was the real test case that proved that we can take these players in their 30s and they can still contribute. And hopefully, tonight and going forward for the rest of the season. Oh, we've just scored there. Sorry, I'm watching.
Oh, you're joking.
Against Kaito. It's half watching it. But yeah, yes, Schlupp has looked good so far, and despite his age, hopefully he can contribute very well.
Well, in the opening 2 minutes of the second half, Luke McKibben has scored. I mean, there you go. Thanks for keeping me updated, mate. I'm now watching that. Wait a minute, there's Yang. Yang's done well. There you go.
Assist for Yang as well.
Another assist from Yang. There you listen.
That's the best ball into the box for all season.
Absolutely. There's a lot of criticism coming in for Yang, but we'll leave the final word to Franny Weldon. What an assist by Yang, world-class player. Go away and enjoy the second half. We'll see you at full time on a Celtic state of mind.
Yeah.